Hello and welcome back to
Beam City Sports.
another beautiful Wednesday here on 96.5 FM. Got the boys with me back again. It's been a long time since we've been on the mics, man. I'm happy to be back with you boys. Luke, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. It always feels good to be back in the studio. It's a second home for me. It feels amazing.
Yeah, Dev, how you feeling?
Feeling good, like you said. Great to be back, and I'm a little on edge. No basketball for a long time is really, making me upset. But
Yeah.
coming up Friday, we're getting close. So
Yeah, coming up Friday, it's been a long week since we've been on the mics. Me and Luke went to All-Star Weekend on Saturday.
sir.
Saw my favorite podcast, Numbers on the Board. They showed us a ton
Numbers
of love.
on the board.
Numbers on the
yes.
board. Yeah, they showed us a ton of love. Met a lot of crazy, cool people.
Yes, sir. Some fellow Kings fans.
Some fellow Kings fans, some Beam City sports fans.
Some Beam City Sports
It was
fans.
crazy.
Shout out.
Yes, people were following the show, and they, came up to us. So it was really cool to meet them. Baron Davis came on the show. That was really cool to watch.
Yep, he was a dunk contest judge.
Yeah, dunk contest judge later that night. But All-Star Weekend in San Francisco, man, it was definitely a show. A lot of good, a lot of bad. Probably more bad than good. We'll jump into all that. Also, today we will be going over the Kings' upcoming schedule for the next couple weeks. First game back from All-Star break will be Friday against the Warriors. So it's going to be a fun game on Friday.
Yes, sir. Yeah, no, it's going to be, I'm nervous for it, not going to lie.
Yeah.
Coming back out of All-Star break. This team, we were a little shaky coming out of it, or going into it. And who are we playing? They're playing the Warriors right off the bat.
Yeah, playing
That's
the
a
Warriors.
big matchup. Who has Jimmy Butler going off lately? They were pretty hot before All-Star break. So
Yeah, they were. They got
Hopefully-
Jimmy now.
yeah,
Yeah.
hopefully things switch up though.
Yeah, Dev, you nervous about Friday?
yeah, I think it's more so just because they haven't played in so long. I know they hopefully have been getting some practices in together. That's what they need for sure. But just nervous to see what it looks like coming out in that first quarter. Hopefully they don't put themselves in too big of a hole. But I think that's where the nervousness comes from for me.
Yeah. Also, at the end of the show, we will be going into MLB Spring Training starting up on Thursday.
Yes,
So
sir.
tomorrow, the spring training for MLB starts. We are all very excited about that. Got the A's in Sacramento this year, a dream come true for me and Luke.
Yeah.
Giants have, promising year coming up. They got some guys in free agency, some young guys coming up. So, Dev, you feeling nervous about the Giants season, or are you kind of excited?
Not even nervous. Just want to see, I think that it's going to be more of a year where they kind of evaluate. So I think that's where, as a fan, we should probably be at too. So excited to hopefully they have a good year. And if they don't, they'll know what they need to do going into next year. I'm sure they're going to give Posey a few years to kind of, build it up and get it right. So
Yeah,
excited.
Posey's definitely made some good moves
So
already.
Posey's the head and the GM of everything.
Yeah. So it's really crazy
That's
that
pretty.
Posey,
That's pretty awesome to see the whole circle of it. Like
Yeah.
our whole life, we saw Posey as a rookie, and then
Yeah.
now he's a whole GM of it.
It's crazy. They literally announced it with the press release of their firing Farhan Zaidi. They were like, and also Buster Posey is taking over as president of baseball operations, and everybody was just like, but it's gone good so far. I will say, I'll give them credit. They got Adames, and so I'm excited for the season. Hopefully they sneak in there. We've been seeing some teams with not the best records getting in because of the expanded format, so hopefully
Yeah.
they can sneak in there. We'll see.
I like that they expand the format. It should be like basketball. Let more teams in the
Yeah.
playoffs. In basketball, over half the teams make the playoffs, and now with the play-in, it's even more.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Also, question: is Buster Posey the best catcher of all time? Because in my opinion, he's definitely top three.
Probably
He's
up
top
there,
three.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's top three.
I mean, yeah, we can't speak on the. I know there's some greats in the past, but we never got to see him. But
yeah.
him and Yachty were definitely the two of our generation. Like there was nobody better for the last 20 years, and there probably won't be anytime soon. I mean,
Yeah. Shout out Yachty.
Probably one of the greatest modern day
Yeah.
catcher.
Came in, won it as a rookie. So crazy story for Buster. Good to see him still doing good things in SF.
Yeah.
But All-Star Weekend, we got to get into it. Yeah, so it was definitely a wild one. A lot of fans were not happy. Started on Friday with the celebrity game. My boys at Numbers on the Board interviewed Drewski, so it was pretty funny to see. But the celebrity game, wasn't that fun.
No.
Some
Kevin
years,
Hart needs to get back
yeah,
in
some
it.
years they have guys like Kevin Hart who go off and some fun guys to watch. But this year was definitely one of the worst
Yeah.
years.
I didn't really know half the names on
Yeah.
the
yeah,
board.
that's been the last
I
couple
don't
years.
know.
I feel like too with the celebrity.
Do we
game.
call these celebrities?
Yeah.
Like,
No.
do we call it the D League celebrity game?
the D-listers?
Hey,
yeah.
get Beam City in the celebrity game soon.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we'll cook.
Hey,
We'll
I'll
cook.
throw
them
some
up.
air balls.
But then Saturday came and the skills challenge was the first event.
Yeah.
So the participants in the skills challenge were the Cavs, Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley. Then we had the rookies, Zachary Ricochet and Alex Sarr. Then the Spurs, Chris Paul and Victor Wembanyama. And then the Warriors with Draymond and Moses Moody. Chris Paul and Victor Wembanyama, tried to find a loophole in the skills challenge with All-Star Weekend already being, so watered down.
Yeah.
Of course, Chris Paul behind all the shenanigans with that one. They didn't even attempt shot attempts or try and make the pass right. They just threw the ball as fast as they could and ran to the next event. But they got disqualified. So I'm happy to see the NBA, put their foot down on that. But just a bad move from Chris Paul, one of the leaders in the players union and all that stuff to do something like that. It's a little not very happy with how he did that.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like it takes away from what's already not a good event and not a good All-Star Weekend. But I don't know. I thought it was pretty funny. I didn't like it, but I thought it was pretty funny seeing Chris Paul kind of fooling around like with a young star. He's just like, nah, like this is how we're gonna do this.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I think it was funny too, and I think it was supposed to be funny, but it's bad timing because all the they're trying to make the All-Star game more competitive the last few years, and then
it's pretty funny because you can hear Chris Paul kind of pleading his case in the background of the whole broadcast.
For 10 minutes after they got disqualified, you could still hear Chris Paul chatting it up like, I read the rule book. I know this is okay. And he did say he asked multiple people before if this was okay to do, and they all said yes. And then they still get disqualified.
They set him up.
So, weird look. Team Cavs ended up winning, though. Not that it matters, really. Donovan Mitchell and Mobley won it for the second year in a row. So, shout out to the Cavs. They're having a great year, but no one really cares about the skills challenge.
I think they should replace that with the 1v1.
Oh, yeah, I was going to get into that.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
I'm down. But the 1v1, they're talking about it a lot. And I think Kyrie said he's down.
Kyrie would be amazing.
Who cares if anyone else says they're down? Kyrie is the best one-on-one player in the entire league. If he says he's down, you have to do it.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they want to do it, if they want to do 3 dribbles or if they want to do, 7 seconds. I think the women's league right now, not the WNBA, but they have the other
3v3.
Yeah, the 3v3 league. They're doing a 1v1, and it's actually going really successful.
Yeah, that's like the overtime thing, right?
Yeah, something like that. It's like a women's league, though.
Well, yeah, I think they do 1v1 after they have to decide a game because it starts out with a 3v3 and then it's to a set score, and then if it's a tie game, I think they do 1v1 after that. Yeah,
that's interesting. I don't know if I love that for the NBA, but the one-on-one challenge could definitely be happening next year. Wouldn't be surprised.
That would be pretty awesome.
I think that would make LeBron definitely wouldn't do it, but
no.
Hopefully,
Definitely.
I think it would be crazy because you'd see some. We'd definitely see some. I saw a video. Who was it?
Cam Reddish.
Yeah, that Cam Reddish video was crazy. It'll definitely be
LaMelo out there.
Interesting. Definitely more interesting than we think. But I think that LeBron and stars like that, some of them would be too scared to do it because they don't want to get embarrassed.
Yeah, LeBron definitely wouldn't do it. If he's never done the dunk contest, he definitely wouldn't do that. Nah. But I think Giannis also said he'd be down.
See, that's where they'd have to do a 3 dribble,
a 3 dribble. I would prefer 7 seconds to see more of the bag. I want to see Kyrie cook for 7 seconds.
The bag, yeah.
But
facts.
I wouldn't really. I wouldn't hate seeing it, but I wouldn't really love to see a Giannis versus Kyrie one-on-one. I think they should do a guards and a bigs.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That would be fun. And then maybe
the winners play.
Yeah, the winners play. Maybe
that'd be
in the
cool.
end, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So yeah,
or it turns into a 2v2 thing in the end.
Something like
I don't
that.
know.
Yeah.
They could. There's so many ways they can make it way more entertaining than what's going on right now.
And people would love it.
Yeah.
People would love it because this is a big hit on players' egos if you lose that one-on-one.
Yeah. And this all I see right now is just a big advertised money grab right now.
Man.
Everywhere you look on the screen, it's Starry, Kia. Anything that going down, it was insane.
The ratings are down. They gotta make that money back somehow. But somehow. Damn, they really used All-Star Weekend to make it all back.
Yeah.
It was nonstop ads. We'll get into the All-Star game though pretty soon.
He's nice.
Well, someone was nice in the 3-point contest. My boy Tyler Herro, representing for the Heat out there, won the 3-point contest.
Yes, sir.
He had a shaky first round, but he barely made it to the next round, and then he went off in the last round. So that was fun to see. Jalen Brunson also was in there. Cade Cunningham, Darius Garland, Buddy Hield, who went off in the first round. He had 31.
Tied the record.
The record for most points in a first round.
But we have to remind ourselves that I don't think Curry set that record with the starry ball or all the extra
Well,
So
that's even more crazy for Steph.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, you got to put that in a factor that Buddy hit that with 2 extra 3-point balls.
So the Starry ball is worth 2 points or 3? 3. That's what I thought. Yeah. So it's worth 3 points, and I think Buddy hit both of those. So that's big. But yeah, Buddy went off in the first round, and then of course the Buddy Hield cycle happened. Second round, couldn't hit a shot. So I mean, we've seen it before. That's what everyone talks about with Buddy.
I heard he was brick, and then actually had a chance to win if he hit all 5 of the last, and then hit, and then missed the last.
Yeah.
So that's the most Buddy Hield experience I've ever heard of.
I was so happy.
Don't hate on Buddy.
Hate watch. Good hate watch.
Good hate watch. All right. Well, Cam Johnson was also in there, and Damian Lillard, 2-time defending champ. He had a really bad round.
He came up short to eliminate Tyler Herro.
Yeah. And then Norman Powell was in there as well. How do we feel about the 3-point contest, 1 through 10? What are we rating it? Because honestly, in my opinion, it was really bad. Besides Buddy Hield and Tyler Herro, it was a ton of bricks.
They need to bring
It was bricks.
Why is Cade Cunningham in this?
I mean, Cade Cunningham is one of the best players, but yeah, he's not a 3-point shooter.
He's shooting 37% from 3. They need to bring it back when it was what was his name? Joe Harris shooting threes. Like, just a specialized 3-point shooter, someone who only shoots threes. Like Peja.
Yeah.
Hitting all that.
Definitely agree with that. Like Isaiah Joe from the Thunder, he should definitely be in there. Luke Kennard probably from the Grizzlies. Hey, throw Dougie McBuckets in there too. I'd be happy with that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like,
or what about Kev? Red Velvet? No, I'm kidding.
Get his powers back, bro.
Yeah. Well, 3-point contest was a little disappointing as well.
Didn't he have his chance and he failed?
Kev?
In the 3-point contest?
Oh, yeah. He had like 4 points.
Man, it was the year that
That's what messed his shot up. Right? Yeah, he was shooting like 50% from 3 before that, and then he came into the 3-point contest and couldn't hit a shot.
Yeah, I think with better names, it could have been, at least more interesting. I honestly think the 3-point contest is like
better
the most solid
contest.
part of it.
Yeah.
Like at least every year, the most consistent. But definitely just a little bit worse this year because of the names. I agree with that for sure.
Yeah, Steph in the 3-point contest is
in
a
your
little
own
wild.
city, bruh.
In your own city.
On.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like he elected to do that too.
But I did.
Because I think they offered him, and he was like, "No,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do it."
I also heard he was doing a lot of like stuff in the city for All-Star Weekend.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he was.
Makes sense.
it is what it is. But people wanted to see you shoot in your city. Bro.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah. And they didn't do the Sabrina versus Steph again, which they did last year, which was honestly the best part of the Saturday night.
I think
was
that's
Steph versus
because
Sabrina.
they wanted to make it with Caitlin Clark,
Yeah.
but she hasn't done the. I think she said she hasn't done the WNBA one yet. So like,
why would you do that? Yeah,
for the NBA, which respect.
Respect.
She trying to put on for the W.
Mm-hmm.
Respect.
You had to get those numbers up.
Okay, well, the dunk contest, we saw our boy Mac McClung win it
oh my
again,
gosh.
3 times in a row.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, that was very entertaining, Mac McClung. But this was the worst thing of like everything.
This was horrible. Matas Buzelis, my boy,
God.
I picked him to win. Boy from Chicago. He's homies with our numbers on the board crew.
Did he even make that first dunk?
He was really bad.
That first dunk was gonna be crazy though if he made that.
But
he's just too tall for that. I
he's
think
too
he was like trying to come
tall,
under every time. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. Well, Stephon Castle actually did pretty good in it. I
Yeah.
think he had some great dunks in there. And then Andre Jackson, who I didn't expect much.
Thought he was gonna do good.
I didn't expect much, but I didn't expect it to be this bad.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
It was bad.
It was like when people miss dunks, it just takes the whole feeling out of the dunk contest. It's really bad.
This event was terrible.
Yeah, terrible. But Mac McClung, I mean, he saved it a little bit, jumping over the car, had some cool dunks. But I mean, we've kind of seen them all already. Like we've seen all those dunks from Aaron Gordon. We've seen all these dunks that he's done. It wasn't anything new.
It's an old event. It's like, I mean, they're very impressive. All the dunks are very impressive.
Yeah.
But we see it online all the time. We see them do it every year. So it's like, I feel like this event kind of needs to be washed away and brought back with something else.
I don't know because we've seen some players tweet out after this dunk contest.
Our
Ja
very own
Morant,
Zach LaVine.
Zach
also.
LaVine, of course, one of the best dunk contest winners of all time, and he's won it twice. Both times he had all 50s. So
That's
Zach
true.
LaVine, if he gets back in there, I mean that was young Zach LaVine, but I think he still has some tricks up his sleeve.
He got some.
Yeah,
bets,
and
so.
then Ja Morant would bring everyone to watch the dunk contest.
Yeah.
I don't even care what he does.
That's
it
true.
would be so fun
And
to see
then,
that.
yeah, I guess
Giannis also said he wants to do it, so that'd be kind of wild.
That'd be wild. He'd just have to do some long
jump
dunks.
from behind the free throw line, something like that.
Exactly.
I think that's what's been wrong with it. Like, all they want to do it now. Like, they should have been doing it. And kind of everybody likes to point at LeBron for starting the Stars not wanting to do the dunk contest, and I kind of agree with that. But honestly, like they had 2 good ones, and then Buzzelli and Andre Jackson, they were pretty bad. But
Yeah, I mean,
honestly, like if they get one, like if Aaron Gordon does it again, I think he said something to retweeted it, Levine, and then they could even have like honestly, Castle didn't do that bad either. Like you guys were saying, I thought he was pretty good. But like if they just get like a really stacked 4, like I honestly think the excitement would come back. And the missing dunks plays a big part into like just taking the excitement out of it too. Like you said, like McClung comes out and I don't think did he not hit the car one on the first try, but he hit most of them on the first try. He hit the car one on the second try.
I thought he hit the car on the first try.
He might have. One of them I know one
he
of
did
them
all the dunks on the first try.
Okay, yeah. See, then that's even like you have to come out and do that, and then he automatically like has had the last 2 years, so he comes out and the crowd's already hyped. So I think if you have like the stars with that resume, then everybody's like the energy in the building's not gonna be as easily lost as it was.
You know, the energy in the building was horrible. Horrible. And you know, being in a big city like SF, you didn't really expect that. But you know, from a personal standpoint, me and Luke were at that All-Star event, and we looked at the prices. We wanted to see if we could go, and you have to buy all the events in one ticket. Those tickets were like
$475 for one
seat in the worst cheapest. For the top row in the whole stadium.
The cheapest lower bowl ticket was $1,300.
$1,300 for lower bowl, and those seats were empty. Yeah. Everyone's talking about it, that those seats were empty in Saturday night.
I saw the video of the All-Star game too. It didn't really it kind of filled up, but like
it was
there
horrible.
Was a lot of empty seats for sure.
Those aren't real NBA fans. Those are just rich people that just have nothing better to do. And it's like
and then I also feel like a lot of them were just Warriors fans.
Yeah,
just there to see Warrior people, like Warrior players.
True that. There's nothing wrong with that though. I mean, we see that every city, but I mean, Warrior fans, there's definitely a lot of them. So,
but like in a city like SF, like the NBA wants to have the All-Star game, like have people travel there and be there, like
and they did.
Traveling for the weekend.
And they did. But
like I don't know, I feel like this is all just like nobody was just like, let's go to SF where it's not really a good city right now. Yeah, like it's just like
I mean, we experienced it. We saw. I mean, on Market Street where the thing was, it was.
Dude, it smelled like piss everywhere.
It was horrible. They didn't like. They talked about cleaning up SF, and I think by the arena they did a lot, but by Market Street where they had the podcast, it was horrible.
Take it easy on my city, guys.
Hey,
dude.
I don't really know what to say because it was not good. And also after
wait till Gavin gets out there, bro.
After the event, crazy. Me and Luke, we tried to go over to the by the arena.
Yeah.
And we were like a mile and a half away, maybe 2 miles away. It was over a 40-minute drive to get back to the arena. Yeah. So we didn't do it.
They probably had it like locked down. They probably had one street open too. Yeah. There is only one street down there anyway.
So San Francisco was definitely a nightmare.
No, yeah. I feel like it definitely was a nightmare. I mean, I know the NBA has to have it in cities that have the right capacity for all of this, all that.
It's big enough for
but
sure.
But nobody's traveling to the All-Star game anymore because it's so bad. Yeah. Like, it's not a good All-Star thing.
I mean, people still travel there, but people don't go to the events. Mm-hmm. Even our guys and numbers on the board, they didn't go to the All-Star game. They flew home that morning. Smart. And they had media access to the All-Star game, and they didn't want to go because it just sucks.
Yeah.
Oh,
you should have asked for their media.
I know, right? We should have got those.
Damn.
Well, yeah, I mean, now we can jump into the All-Star game, the actual game. They changed the format this year. So, I mean, that was all because of Steph. Steph wanted to do that. But I don't know how I'd feel about it. It was a 3-hour game, and there was only 40 minutes of actual basketball. So 3 hours was the total time in this All-Star game. Only 40 minutes of it, they were actually playing basketball, which is wild.
I thought it was going to be way better than this. I was excited for it. I thought the tournament was going to make the players like want to play and have it like a very competitive game.
40's too low a score in my opinion.
40 is very low.
Definitely
like 40
low.
Is insane.
To
the
make
stats
it
were horrible. It was like the most points on anyone had was like 12, and so that's just not. And no one wants to see that.
No.
And I mean, I do feel like the defense was a little better than some years before, but not great, obviously. But I do think we saw some block shots. We saw some defensive possessions, but also there were times where we didn't. And then if the game's only going to 40, there's not much you could do. It was just not that fun to watch.
Yeah. Like, I think it was the end of the Rising Stars and the OGs matchup.
Yeah.
And the Rising Stars were starting to come back a little bit.
That was maybe the best game. The Rising Stars versus the OGs.
But then, like, I forgot who was driving down the lane to close it out. But Zach Edey and then I think it was Stefan Castle at the time. They just let him drive in the lane and finish the game off. I was like, what? That doesn't, no. Like, oh, no, that was Dame hitting the three right up top. And nobody was guarding him. I was just like, come on, put some effort in,
everyone knew Dame was going to make that. And Wemby was one of those guys playing absolutely his hardest.
Yeah.
He was mad at his teammates when they would give up an open dunk. He was yelling at Sengun one time.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. I feel like it was a little scripted, and people told him, they're just like, "Hey,
scripted?
A little
what do you
bit.
mean scripted?
I'm saying, like, I feel like someone told the rookie team, it was just like, "Hey, let them win
Oh
because
my God,
we need the OGs to be in the."
Well,
there's no way they were gonna let them win.
Well,
The
there's no
OGs
way.
won that.
There's no way the NBA
I'm
wasn't
just-
gonna let the OGs like not win that first game. Like I
That's what I'm
understand where
saying.
you're coming
Like,
from.
that's what I'm saying.
For sure.
That was
Like,
the closest game. The Rising
was the
Stars
closest
versus the
game.
OGs. And the
Yeah.
Rising Stars, I feel like played. I don't know, because there was times where, like you said, they still let things happen, which I was a little
down
disappointed
the
in.
stretch. Like, I
Yeah.
was just like, you guys are in the game.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Like they were playing hard though. I kind of liked. But then,
They were playing hard until the end,
Yeah.
and then they were just like, all right, you guys can finish the game.
how do we feel
Like,
about the Rising Stars being on Sunday
hated
though?
it.
Because Draymond talked a lot of mess on the TNT broadcast about these guys should not be playing on Sunday.
I mean,
They
I
sh-
agree with him.
They
yeah.
shouldn't. They, like, if they're going to do anything, if they're going to have extra people in there, make more all-stars.
Like the
give
snub,
it-
all snub. Who,
You saw
who
that?
sent that?
Dame,
somebody
Dame
sent
said that. But then why would the snubs agree to that? Why would Domas agree
Yeah.
to be on the snub team? That's just disrespectful, honestly.
It's just an.
I don't think it's really
overt-
disrespectful.
I wouldn't agree to it if I'm Domas. Like, if
I don't know.
instead of the Rising Stars,
I
if they
see-
had the
I can see
snub
that,
team,
yeah.
like that's just I don't know. People would be pissed. Like players would be mad. Like
Yeah.
Trae Young. I mean Trae Young made it, I guess, but guys like that, like Domas and all that. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's just in a tough spot. I don't think there's
Or ju-
anything
I'm
the
just saying,
NBA can do.
extend the all-star ballot. Like,
Well,
I don't know.
yeah,
But
yeah,
then-
yeah. Especially if they're gonna do a tournament style, like, yeah, add more
Yeah.
roster spots.
Oh,
for
I've
sure.
always
I
thought there
agree
should
with
be
that.
more.
Yeah. And even in the regular East West,
yeah.
But then
100%. It should be like 2 or 3 more each side.
then that makes the people before like mad that there wasn't that before, and then there's only 12 on East
The
and West.
past is the past,
Yeah.
man. They can grow up. and
Well,
move
how do
past
we
it.
feel? What do they need to do to fix the All-Star game? Like the
I
game.
don't know if there's anything they can do. Honestly, I've been hearing a lot of stuff about just they got to go the NFL route and just not play the game and just have the whole weekend just be a bunch of like events, because at this point there's nobody that's going to make them try in the game besides themselves. Like if they come out one year and it goes back to East West and they try, cool, like that's what we want, and then people are going to be happy for if you keep doing that. But nobody's going to get them to do that, like, besides themselves. And then I don't even think they're going to do that. LeBron sits out and tells nobody he's not going to play until the
last
2
minute.
hours, 1 hour before the game. And, like, that takes up a roster spot. Like, you don't lose your All-Star title if you are injured, right? You keep the All-Star
Yeah.
title. So he could have, like, let somebody else get a roster spot. And it's just the mindset these players are in right now. And nobody's going to get them to do it. Like, honestly, that might not be a bad idea if it comes to that. Getting rid of the game and just having a full weekend of just events.
I mean, I don't think they should get rid of the game, but I don't know. Somehow figure out a way to not have it right in the middle of the season when the players are like, I mean, kind of crashing right now and kind of need some sort of
Rest.
a rest.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I know the NFL has a bye week for each team, but like that's damn near not enough for the NFL.
Yeah.
It's just like 1 week.
But the
for,
NFL All-Star game is literally the worst
Well,
All-Star
that's
game in
also
all
good.
That's
sports.
also
Yeah.
after the
I've never
season,
watched
too.
it.
that's all.
ever.
Yeah, that's also
And
that.
they just stopped trying in that, too.
Yeah. So like it's also questionable. It's like players wouldn't even want to go to the All-Star game if it's at the end of the season. So like I don't know. I feel like the All-Star game for the NBA is just kind of dead. It's
definitely dead. But I mean, I don't know. Next year will be in LA. I really hope they go back to just East versus West.
Yeah.
And I really hope they make the jerseys to where it's not an all-star jersey, to where they wear their own
back to that.
jerseys. Because I watched a whole video on it last night. The old all-star game used to be so good. When they first started, everyone was playing hard, like in the Jordan days.
Yeah.
Everyone was playing hard, fouling. It was a real game. And we saw pick and rolls. We saw everything we'd normally see. Then it got watered down a little bit. It turned into more of a Showtime era.
It's a show, dude. It's all.
But it was still
ads.
fun. It was still fun. It was like the Kobe Mike era, and it was still
Because
fun.
people would come down and do some crazy dunks you've never seen before.
Yeah.
Now
We've
it's
seen
who
it all.
can shoot it from the farthest.
That's
Like,
what
that's
it
what they
is.
do in the game.
That's all
Yeah.
it is.
That
It's-
happened in
yeah.
like 2019. I think it turned into a
Steph
half
started
court.
pulling from half in the
Yeah.
All-Star game, and then
Yeah.
everybody started doing it, right?
It's really just Dame and
just
Steph, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
no,
they
it's-
make
their
them.
fault.
I like watching it, but I mean everything else in the All-Star game today is just absolutely horrible.
It's boring.
We did see in
Watching-
2020 though. It was one of the best All-Star games of all time when they first introduced the
Kobe
Elam ending.
format?
Yeah, it was right after Kobe passed away, and they had the Kyle Lowry was taking charges in the All-Star game, and they were playing to it was like an Elam ending where they had the target score at the
I
end.
didn't like that ending, but that
so
game
fun.
was fun. Just because
it was the closest game in All-Star history.
I just don't like the target scores. Honestly, that one wasn't bad because they were like from their third quarter score, right? You have to get to it. So that one's not bad. I just don't like the target scores because I feel like, especially now with the scoring, it's just too low of a score. Like they got to set this target score a little bit higher so we could see more game because we want to see more action.
Well, in this one, of course, because it was only to 40.
Yeah,
and it was just,
but in that one, it's good because they went from their score.
I mean, I just want to see a normal basketball game. I don't think we want to see more game.
Yeah.
Just because, like, when we see more, then the players start getting lazy and start throwing up crazy stuff.
Yeah.
We just want to. It's the quality of the game that we want to see go up. I just go back to the old early 2000s where it's 12-minute quarters.
Yeah.
For the whole thing.
Maybe they need to add some more money incentive to winning it. Maybe they need to. I think that's the only way to get players to play hard.
Dude, literally, if they even treated it like a summer workout and they went that speed, like that
they
game
play
would
way
be.
harder.
These are all
That game would
like,
be more fun to. Yeah, that game would be more fun to watch than like, dude, even just a one-on-one workout with your coach. They're playing harder than they do in the All-Star game. Like,
I don't think a money
doesn't even have to
incentive
be
would
that high of a
really.
level.
You don't think so?
Nah, these are
Me
all
either.
stars. Like their contracts are already so big that like
they already got a $100K for making the All-Star team type.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
And that don't even mean nothing to them.
Yeah, well, Steph won MVP, though, my boy.
How many points did he have?
Like 12. Yeah, 12 points. In the last game, I think he hit 4 threes. So, I mean, it was just a weird...
That half court.
Yeah,
that was
half court
nice.
was cool.
Yeah, nice.
He nice.
He's nice. It's his city. You had to give him an MVP.
Okay, well, we'll be back in a couple minutes. Beam City Sports. We're going to jump into the Kings' upcoming schedule. Really excited to get into that. Also... changing up a segment to start the next half. We'll keep it a secret until the next half of the show starts.
Yeah, boy.
Changing up a segment a little bit, and then we'll jump into some baseball to close it out. Good to be back on Beam City Sports, 96.5 FM.
Like, share, comment, subscribe. Tell your mom, brother, sister.
Tell them all.
Tell them all.
All right, we'll be back in a couple.
Cheers.
Alrighty, we are back on Beam City Sports.
Welcome back, guys. How we doing?
Yeah, we are starting the next half of the show with
Luke's Lock of the Week.
New segment.
Same concept, new segment. Might change it up every once in a while. Coming up with a couple of locks. Right now, locked in with the boys, Tyler Herro and Mac McClung from the All-Star game. Winning.
Whites.
Our boys.
Representing the Caucasian community for us.
Yes, sir.
Tyler Herro coming up clutch, winning the three-point contest. Mac McClung, three dunk champions in a row.
And he was retiring.
Challenging Vince Carter for possibly the greatest dunker of all time.
I could see that.
Obviously, Mac McClung needs that goal to be in the NBA. He has played in the NBA once or twice, but it's just not
Sign him, man. Sign him.
Kings.
Magic should sign him.
Should have got him over Markel. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, we haven't really talked about Markel.
Dude, so actually, right after that, Markel Fultz on the Kings.
Yeah.
That's actually my real Luke's Lock of the Week.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah. I was thinking back. I was like, wait, we haven't talked about Markel at all on the show.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. But, I mean, great signing, actually. Like, great signing. Great point guard to come off the bench, potentially start some games maybe, because he's a great playmaker, amazing playmaker, and that's someone we need. And then also a great defensive guard, too. So
definitely agree with the defensive guard, but let's slow our roll on the starting. Who would he start over?
I'm just saying.
There's no way he would start.
Maybe? I don't know.
Dev, what's your take
No,
on that?
I think, well, yeah.
I don't know.
If any guard goes down, it's Keon first, but
I don't know.
multiple
it's
guards
just
go down. I have no idea.
I mean, he's the only true point guard on the team.
He's the only
now.
true
That
point
is
guard.
true.
And, like, we need a really good passer. Malik is starting to develop that. Like, he is starting to become a great passer.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's a little sloppy sometimes. And, probably not going to start. But he'll come in quick. Not going to pause.
No, I agree with that.
No, I'm hyped for Markel.
Yeah.
Number one pick in the draft. A lot of hype coming in, and then his shot. They messed up his shot. Shout out J. Cole.
Well, his shoulder, too.
Yeah, well, the Sixers messed up his shot.
Yeah, injuries also kind of screwed him over.
Yeah. But I really think he still has a lot of potential, man. Last year, I was looking at all his stats, and they were pretty solid. He doesn't shoot the three ball a lot. You know who he reminds me of a little bit is Sean Livingston in the Warriors days.
What?
Yeah.
That's a good comparison.
Yeah, because
right
he can
there.
hit the mid-range. He can hit the mid-range better than we think. He can get to the rim. Pretty athletic, and he can guard really well.
He was
So-
in the playoffs with the Magic last year, too, right? Shout out to Magic.
Oh,
2
yeah, they
years
did
ago?
make the
Yeah.
playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a name I
on
haven't
that
heard
team,
for a
I
while.
think.
Sean Livingston?
Yeah.
That's a pull.
Yeah, that's a pull. I think he can bring that impact off the bench. I really hope he's a playmaker off the bench that, when Malik is out there running the show, which I love, I think Markelle could come in and settle us down a little bit.
Yeah.
Because Malik, you say it all the time, you got to live with the mistakes, you got to live with the good, live with the bad. But Markel's more of a solid, steady guy, especially at this point of his career. And,
Him on the court with Domas and Jonas when it's like a little bit slower.
Yeah.
That, like you said, the slow ball, it's going to be a perfect matchup, I feel like.
I think it will be really good. He's a very good defender, though. That's what I'm really excited about, and that's something we need more of. Is like him and Keon on the floor together could be nasty. Could be like really good.
Still only 26 years old.
Yeah, got a lot of potential still.
A lot of potential.
Him playmaking for Keon, I think, is what I'm most excited about. I'm excited to see Keon shoot some more catch-and-shoot threes and not have to be, when Malik's not on the court, kind of the main ball handler.
Yep.
But, there's a lot of stuff. If they're going to run 10 deep, then I think they got a pretty good 10, and they just got to get hot going here. But and there's a lot of different ways they could play with it, too. I think, honestly, Zach LaVine's playmaking's a little bit underrated. I don't think he's the greatest, but I think there's some aspect to it where, he's looking for guys. But there's just a lot of different stuff they could do, and I think that's what I'm most excited about if they go 10 deep.
10 deep. Who's the 5 off the bench? We got Keon, we got Jonas, we got Markelle.
LaRavia.
I think Trey might lose a lot of minutes, man.
Trey might be
I think Trey might be out of the rotation, in my opinion. I love Trey. We also got
He's
some
been doing
insight
some good, though.
from an inside source at All-Star Weekend that Trey Lyles, he's been going through some stuff off the court, and that's affecting his on the court. You know what I'm talking about, Luke? Who we met at All-Star Weekend, who told us the insight on Trey Lyles.
I do remember it vaguely.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he figures out.
No,
Hopefully he figures out the off-the-court stuff to help the on-court stuff. But he's not been in a great headspace on the court. It seems like lately he hasn't been playing great. A lot of Kings fans coming for his head. There's always someone off that Kings bench who fans just have to go at. That last game we saw against the Pelicans was a tough one. CJ absolutely cooked us. Dropping
41 points.
He might be the poster child for Kings killers. He's the one. And I don't want to play them anymore. I'm tired of it.
I don't want to play
CJ
I think we're done
anymore.
playing them for the rest of the season.
We better be, because I'm tired of CJ.
Because we played them once here in Sac, and then we went on a little break and then played them back to back.
I think we played them three times in New Orleans.
Yeah. No, we played them twice here, and then we played them back to back.
That makes more sense, because Okay, well, the next couple games for the Kings coming up, starting on Friday. Warriors coming to Sac. We've already talked about that a little bit. Then the Kings go on a road trip. We go to Charlotte.
I play the Hornets before that.
Oh, that is at home. Sorry. So the Hornets come to Sac, and then we go on the road trip.
I'll be going to that game, I think.
Going to the Hornets game?
Yeah, I'll be going to that one.
Lucky.
It takes only $25. So pull up.
That makes sense.
I might be there with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I might have to look after this.
Pulling up with my boy Andrew and Shireen. So.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Well, and then the Kings go on a road trip. They play the Jazz in Utah. Should be a dub. Then they go to Houston. Then they go to Houston. That's going to be a big test. In Houston, I don't think we've played there yet this year, but the Rockets are a really good team, man, and they're someone that's above us in the standings, and we really need to beat them.
I'm looking at there's a nice break in between that. We have like 4 days in between that Jazz and Rockets game.
That is interesting, yeah.
Oh my God,
on the road for a while. And then they play Dallas. AD, I don't know if he'll be back yet, but Dallas is still a tough game with Kyrie. He always kills the Kings as well.
Yep.
Then we go to Denver. Tough game against Denver. And then we play the Spurs at home, the game everyone's waiting for.
Big game.
March 7th, Spurs at Kings.
I'm going to see if I can find tickets and see how much they are right now.
7 games. 7 games. What do we think this record is going to be in this next 7 games? I'm saying we beat the Warriors. We have to beat the Warriors at home.
Have to win those first 3, honestly.
On Friday, yeah. Then we play the Hornets at home. Got to win that. Play the Jazz in Utah. Need to win that. So I'm going with you. I'm saying we win the first 3. Houston in Houston. It's going to be a tough one. I think we're better than Houston, though. It's crazy to say that. It's not ridiculous to say that.
It's not ridiculous to say that.
But, they're a young team. They started out so hot in the beginning of the year. But I think they can fall off a little bit. I think, they've been struggling a little bit. They still don't know who their number 1 guy is.
This is where those young teams kind of fall off.
This is where the young teams fall off.
In the middle of the season right here, the kind of beginning of the last third of the season is when these young teams start to struggle and can't really make the stretch.
Yeah. So the Rockets were second in the West for so long, and now they've fallen down to 4 because they've been losing. In their last 10, they're 3-7. Rockets are 3-7 in their last 10, so we could beat them. So that would be starting off, the
Dude, that's so crazy.
we could start out 4-0 on this after All-Star break, and that would be huge. I think we'd get up to like 7.
32-27.
That'd be a great record.
I'm saying 5-2.
In the next 7?
Yeah.
Okay.
We lose to the Mavericks and the Nuggets
Dude,
back to back,
honestly,
and we
yeah.
come back to San Antonio and we win.
And we beat San Antonio?
Yeah.
I know a lot of people going to that game already.
Dude,
Tickets are
cheapest
crazy.
ticket up top is $118.
Tickets are crazy for that one.
That's not that much, but I'm not dropping that much.
I don't want to
for it.
dive too deep into it because we got some time before that game, but I'm really excited for that game. To De'Aaron coming back to Sac. I wonder how the response is going to be after everything that's happening. When we went to Numbers on the Board show, that's how they opened the show, was talking about De'Aaron and everything.
Really?
They said
Yeah.
they said we have to talk about one thing first. The De'Aaron Fox on
I
social
would've walked
media.
up out of there.
We were like, oh my god, it was.
That hurt.
But they're all on our side saying De'Aaron's tripping for replying to fans with 30 likes on social media.
30
No,
likes.
literally, he's replying to people with like no
The
likes or
shade-
followers.
Shades of
in
KD,
between
man.
Warzone games, bro.
Yeah, unfollowing Domas. We've seen it all. So I don't know, man. I'm really excited for that game, though.
So the ticket difference is hilarious. So the one against the Charlotte Hornets, cheapest ticket $29. Cheapest ticket for the Spurs
Oh,
is
I'm there.
$118.
Oh my lord.
I'm at the Hornets game. Let's go.
Let's do
So the standings: Kings are in 9th, tied with the Warriors, but I think we beat them earlier in the year. We did, so we're above them in the standings. But the Mavericks are in 8th place. They're a game and a half above us. Then we got the Timberwolves in 7th. 2.5 games above us, and then everyone else is like 1 game above them. So everything's so close, man.
Everything can
Anything
switch
can
up.
happen.
Spicy. It's gonna get spicy.
It's gonna get
This
spicy.
is where you see the teams start to pull away up top. It's going to get interesting here. Hopefully the Kings can make a little comeback and get up there in like the 6th seed. Hopefully that would be amazing. But
Yeah.
I think another good run, like that 7 in a row. Obviously, it doesn't have to be 7 in a row. Hope it is. That'd be nice. But
Yes,
I think another good run like that, another good stretch of basketball for the next couple of weeks, could put them in a good spot to where they might have a little bit of. I don't know. It's just gonna be tough. But I think a good run can put them up there. Maybe 7. We're hoping 6, right? That's what we're shooting for. That's what everybody's shooting for. But
the last seed
7,
for playoffs.
getting a 7 or 8 to where you only have to win 1 game. That's honestly not bad. Not terrible.
DeMar don't like that though.
DeMar don't want to be in the play-in.
So he gonna get us out of there 1 game. He going for 40.
I'm thinking DeMar is gonna start cooking. I mean, he has been all year. I never thought I'd love DeMar this much, but he's definitely one of my favorite players in the league.
Yes.
Everyone loves DeMar in the whole league.
Yeah.
I don't think one person in the entire NBA dislikes DeMar.
When he came to Sacramento, I was like, DeMar, you're one of my favorites
Already?
The fact that you just decided, I'll go play in Sacramento.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, all right, cool. One of my favorite players now.
I love him. But I think he's going to turn it up, and I think Zach LaVine is going to follow suit in that.
That loss kind of overshadowed what he had like 4-6 from 3.
Yeah.
He had
Yeah.
32.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Zach
I think they
LaVine.
should have went to him a little bit more in that OT.
Last 5 games, Zach LaVine's like 25 points, 5 rebounds, like 5 assists.
That's
on some
really good numbers.
Good shooting.
Yeah. But like
Except
Malik
for
said,
3-point shooting.
Yeah, the 3-point
The
shooting.
3-point shooting.
It's coming around though. It's coming around.
Yeah.
I'm really excited
That shit
for this
broke.
next half. Really excited for this next half, and I think some teams, like Luke said, I think this is where we really see the turning point in the season.
Yeah.
I think the Rockets are going to fall down. I honestly think the Clippers are also going to fall down a little bit. Minnesota's above us by a couple games. I could see them falling off as well because Julius Randle's not a good fit over there. I think there's definitely a chance we get up there, but there's also a chance we drop completely out of the play-in because the Suns are 11th right now. They're not even in the play-in right now.
Yeah.
So the Suns and the Spurs are on the come up. So it's going to be there are 11 teams, 12 teams counting the Spurs, of course, with Fox and Wemby out west that really have a chance to make it.
Honestly, if they stay a couple of games over 500, I think they'll be bottom of the play-in. But that's where I'm saying like one more good run could put them to where they could be in that position to either be 6 or only have to win 1 play-in game, which is what we want.
Definitely.
So,
I need a home play-in game if we're in the play-in.
Yes.
Because I know this arena is going to be jumping.
Yeah.
And we're going to win that. We saw it last year
Yep.
when they played the
Dude,
Warriors
if they
in the
only
play-in.
had to play 1 game last year and it
Yeah.
was just that, and then we got into the playoffs.
Of course, we had to
We
play
might
the
have done it.
Pelicans
We
after.
might have done some.
Might have. And who knows what would have happened with that. But what's the game plan for the Warriors? on Friday. What's the game plan?
Shoot the lights out, man.
Yeah.
They're going to be shooting the ball like
One
crazy.
of the 3 guards needs to come out within the first 3 minutes of the game to put Keon in the game.
Definitely
and
agree.
Keon's gonna have to play over 30 minutes.
They're going to have to match the threes
Dude.
that the Warriors hit on us because
The
the
Steph
Warriors
stopper.
the Warriors are going to be shooting so many threes.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the thing. There could have been some conversations had over these last, couple of days to where, somebody going to the bench. I don't know. Just in certain matchups, right? Like, because that Steph, that is starting to think about that. Like, that's starting to scare me.
So
a
you're
little
saying
bit, to where
Zach to the bench for
No.
Keon?
Against the Warriors,
I mean, maybe
go
not
more,
starting, but like he's gonna have to play more minutes than he might have to play the most guard minutes against
Yeah.
Curry.
Probably.
I mean, we saw Keon 2 games ago light it up for not his career high, but up there in his career high. He was going off.
How much
And
does
he
Markel
claimed
play?
CJ.
Oh, yeah. I really want to see Markel play.
Because Markel's going to be good on defense
Oh.
against.
I'd give him about 10 to 12
There
minutes.
might be a lot of bench minutes. Like the bench is gonna have to obviously.
We need 50
But-
points from the bench.
Yeah,
Like,
the bench might have a big game.
our bench has been so bad.
That's a lot of points off the bench.
Yeah,
Not 50, sorry. More like 30, 35.
That's like 10 from Keon,
Well,
10 from
think about this.
Jonas.
We let the Mavs bench score 60 on us.
Yeah. But they have some really good guys off the bench. Like Najee Marshall's one of their best guys.
If they're running 10 deep off the bench just like we are, like, there's no reason we can't do that.
what was that game where the bench came in and saved the first Pelicans game? Where they came, how many points off the bench did they have that game? Because the bench came in and saved the game. But obviously, we don't want it to have to be to that extent every time. But like, if they could play that good every time, like that's what we need.
One guy off the bench saved us. That was Keon. He had 27.
Yeah.
And then Jonas had 5, and Trey Lyles had 1.
Okay, that makes sense.
So-
But just the way that bench unit was playing, like,
Yeah.
wait, was that the Jake LaRavia game?
No, this was the Pelicans game we won a couple games ago.
Oh no, I'm talking about the first Jake LaRavia game.
Oh,
That's the game
okay.
I'm talking about.
I think that was.
Where I felt like the
think I
bench
was
really came
there
off
for that
and
one.
saved the game. Yeah, because they were down.
Yeah, they were down.
Yeah,
and
that's the
yeah.
one.
Well, I'm really excited about the bench.
They're just gonna have to be they gonna have to get it.
Yeah, we need Keon to keep shooting, like you said. He's been shooting a high percentage. The bench did really well that game. Keon 13, Jonas with 6, Jake LaRavia with 7, and then Trey Lyles with 5. So that's actually some pretty good numbers
Yeah.
off the bench. Everyone contributing. Want to see more of that.
Sorry, 60 was a little overboard, but
60 is definitely a lot.
That's on a good night.
And we have a lot of scoring in our starting lineup as
we
well.
do. Yeah.
With Malik, Levine, DeRozan, and Sabonis. I want to throw Keegan in there,
like,
but I'm not going to.
What's crazy is, like, if Keegan was going off like he was at the beginning of the season, even after getting rid of De'Aaron, we still have one of the lineups that's closest to averaging 20 points for the whole lineup.
That is crazy, yeah. I always thought Keegan would get to a 20 points, per game guy. He still can.
He still can. It's only his third year.
It is
Like,
only his third year.
He almost was there. He got 15, 16 last year, something like that.
Yeah, around there.
I think
Yeah.
I
that
think
was
his
last
rookie year he had like 12.
Well, and then they
15.
added DeMar, and
Yeah,
that took some shots. So
definitely took a lot of
Yeah,
shots
I think
away
he
from him.
could
He had 15
in
points a game
in an
last
offense
year.
where we didn't have as much like firepower as this, but like we're just hoping the threes he takes go in. That's all we need. Like just make your threes. Just make your threes and play D.
Hopefully this All-Star break brought us back together and, like, kind of got something going with
Yeah.
you guys.
Do you think Doug Christie is for sure going to be signed after the season as the actual head coach? Because I've seen a lot of talk that he might not.
It's
and
really,
I'm a little.
it's really how the end of the season comes down
It's
to
all
it.
relying on this last stretch.
Yeah, because we really are using the whole bench, and like that's really going to show how he handles the rest of the season. If we're positive and if we're in the play-in tournament, make it to the playoffs, he's going to get signed.
Yeah.
And if we miss, then he's not going to be here.
Damn. It's tough because
Yeah.
he's so good.
He's
doing
really
so
good. I think he'll go back down to assistant coach, or he'll get hired somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like-
I don't think he wants to head coach anywhere but here. Like they always
That's-
talk about
That's the thing.
he feel like he has unfinished business here, and this is the way he's kind of wants to finish that and get that ring
Yeah.
finally.
Yeah, no, I think it's the same. Like he's going to be a head coach somewhere else if it's not here.
Did you say ring?
Yeah. Because they didn't get it in 2002. That's why he came back to. That's why he wanted to coach. Like after all these years, because he's got unfinished business for the city, bro. He's putting the city on his back.
If that's why he's doing it, he did it in like the most unethical way of doing it, like going through the broadcasting, and then he's like, "Yeah, I'll do a coach thing," and then.
Well, I mean,
But I hope he does it.
yeah.
If he does.
Well, I mean, honestly, that might have been the way to do it for him because I don't think he's ever coached before, right? Like before he got the job, 4 years ago? So like, just being around the team for the few years that he was broadcasting, and then he was like, and then obviously, he's a Kings legend, so they were like, oh yeah.
Being a player like him,
coach.
like you can like guarantee like to come out the end of his career and be a coach and be
True that, and he's still in all the commercials and stuff. So the whole Kings, organization
Dude,
loves him.
Stupid commercial. Welcome back.
You loved that commercial at first, and now it's just old. Now
it annoys me when it comes on, but I still laugh.
CJ McCollum hits 3 threes in a row, and then it goes to commercial. Welcome back.
And Mike, lights out. That's my favorite part of the first.
It's crazy that when that commercial was filmed, Doug was the assistant coach, and now he's the head coach.
That's how the jerseys leaked at the beginning of the season. Yeah. Mike Bibby posted that picture.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess we can jump into some baseball if you guys don't have anything else on our Kangs.
Just get on.
5 and 2.
On a run. Go on a run.
5 and 2 in the next 7. Luke started it. I'm rocking with it. 5 and 2, definitely possible. All these games are winnable. After that stretch, though, the schedule gets really, really, really hard.
Tough.
We go on the road.
Rocking with us, so I'm rocking with him.
Well, we go on the road to play Denver and then the Clippers and the Knicks, and it's going to be a fun rest of the year.
I think we have the 3rd hardest schedule in the league for the rest of the season.
Don't say that.
Yeah,
that's cool because I read somewhere the Warriors have like one of the easiest. So,
oh Lord,
great.
Cool.
Oh Lord,
they still got to see us one more time though.
Yeah, we kind of have the Warriors number this year. But baseball is starting up on Thursday.
Tomorrow.
The Oakland A's, got to put it on the record this year. The A's are winning the AL West. I'm calling it right now.
Down with
that.
The
Sacramento A's are winning the AL West.
Yes, sir.
Devin, do you agree?
Wait, are they really going to be called the Sacramento A's?
I'm calling them the Sacramento A's. They have
what
a patch on their jersey.
What would they be called if they weren't the Sacramento, just the Athletic Baseball Club?
A's or the Athletics. Technically, that's what you are supposed to call them. It's
Yeah,
not
no,
Oakland,
F
not
you,
Sacramento.
Manfred.
Yeah.
F you.
Yeah, it's Sacramento.
Going back to your question, though, it's not ridiculous to say that. It's not ridiculous. Honestly, who's in the AL West?
Rangers, the Astros, the Mariners,
Angels.
and the weak Angels.
Mariners are kind of...
Angels made some moves, though.
Like
Angels
I forgot, but I've seen them in the headlines a couple of times.
I ain't worried about no damn Angels.
Nah, they're not going
Angels
to be
might
good.
be
Sorry,
low-key,
Thomas.
they might be a little sleeper, but I don't think they'll make the playoffs. They might be better.
You said the Angels?
Yeah, I don't think they'll make the playoffs. Though.
I thought
I
you
think
were
they'll
talking
have a
about the
better
A's.
year than their last. Oh no, the
I was about
Angels.
to be
I
mad.
don't. No playoffs, but I think they'll have a better year than recent years. Like I think they're
I don't know. I
starting
saw
to come up.
when I was on my way over here, an article popped up. It was just like, don't count the A's out. They've been making moves. Like they're still here.
Oh, the A's,
just
yeah,
signed,
it's not ridiculous to say that.
Urias,
Urias.
Yeah.
And just because the situation that division's in, like the Astros are kind of cutting payroll right now. They traded Kyle Tucker.
They lost Bregman. Where did Kyle Tucker go?
He got traded to the Cubs.
Yeah.
Oh my
Chicago's
God.
going to be nasty this
Justin
year.
Turner also went to the Cubs too.
Yeah, Chicago might be looking good too. But the A's, it's not ridiculous to say that. It's not. I think they could have a good chance to win the
Our pitching is going to be the only problem, and I think we made some good moves in the offseason.
Signed Luis Severino.
We also got this guy Jeffrey Springs, who I have a lot of hope for. Lefty from the Royals, I want to say, or the Rays, one of those two.
Well, pitching in that park's going to be a problem no matter what.
Oh,
so
yeah.
making the moves to get offense,
bombs.
like they made a couple. They signed the two-way. They signed Brent Rooker to an extension. So honestly, offensively for the next couple years, however long they're going to be here, is probably the way to go. Pitching's going to struggle no matter what in that ballpark.
Yeah,
both ways.
Yeah, both ways. That's what I was going to say.
That's going to be a lot of scoring,
A lot of
for the
home
next
runs.
few years.
A lot of souvenirs here in Sacramento.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be sick.
Get some seats on that lawn. You'll catch some home run balls.
$50 lawn seats.
50?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I saw.
Oh, wow.
No,
Game
they're
day
keeping
tickets,
it.
Like
Yeah.
single game tickets are like
Season tickets are already sold out.
for 2 seasons.
No way.
So when you bought the package,
You get both?
You got both seasons.
Wow.
You get 2 seasons. Yeah.
And
That's why it was so expensive.
Yeah.
Like people
Makes
didn't realize it, but that's why it was so expensive. It's
People
like,
are going to sell those, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like those are businesses.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
people selling them, and
Makes sense. Well, I'm really excited for young shortstop Jacob Wilson. I hope he starts at short on opening night.
He will. For
He
sure.
better. He had a walk-off in one of the A's last games in Oakland.
Mm-hmm.
He had some really nice games. He's not a power hitter, but, he's a solid contact guy. Plays good in the field.
Gets on base.
That's what
Billy
we're going
Bean.
for. This is a Moneyball type of year, man. I got that feel in me.
No, it's not really. Like,
come on.
they
they did spend a lot of
we're
money.
like the
That's
second most spending team in the offseason
That
right
is
now.
As soon as they
something
left
we've never
Oakland.
seen.
Yeah. And I think it's also because Rob Manfred begged for money from the MLB, and then they didn't spend any of the money because they didn't stay in Oakland. So then the rest of the owners were like, "Yo, you have all that money, now you have to spend it." So he's like,
yeah, there was you have to spend a certain amount.
Yeah. So Rob was just like, all right, we'll sign these old guys and put them all together.
Hey,
we'll give
but
them
when that happens, they're nice.
Yeah. That's what they did in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Came up short, though, but.
Who was some guys from that early 2000s? Scott Hatteberg.
Hatteberg. Damn.
The center fielder, Justice Young, I think.
Justice Young from the Yankees. Yeah, he was The Yankees are paying you $27 million to play against
David Justice. David Justice.
No,
David
Justice.
David Justice.
Yeah.
I was literally trying to think of the movie scene because I was like, bro.
Yeah.
At the beginning, it was Justin Giambi, Jason Giambi's brother.
Yep. Tejada was in that.
Tejada was there.
Miguel Tejada, Giants legend.
Barry Zeet was there.
Barry Zeet.
Shout out Barry.
He wasn't really in the movie, though.
He wasn't
in the movie at all.
He was on that team, though. I'm pretty sure he was nice that year, too.
Who was the sidewinder?
He was the only... Oh, the down low?
Yeah.
Why am I...
Dude, they had great pitchers those years.
Yeah.
Like
Tim Hudson.
Really underrated. Like they had some arms.
Yeah, they just
shout out to the old heads.
They didn't include Barry Zito because they're like, oh shit, he's actually good. We can't include him. I need to watch that movie.
I know that's like the best movie of all time.
So much, bro.
Well, I think it's a Moneyball year here in Sac. Not on the money side. I think on the playing side.
Dude, imagine if
it's going to be a get on base type of year. Win a lot of games, walk offs.
What sucks is there's no playoffs happening here. We actually
is that for sure?
That's for sure.
They're going to play.
They're not going to play because
they're going to play in Oracle. When the Giants miss the playoffs. When the Giants miss the playoffs.
That's going to be it.
I hope the Giants make it.
I think they said they might go back to Oakland to play playoffs.
Oh, that'd be kind of sick, actually.
That's so disrespectful.
I heard.
To Sac, though, why? Not enough
to Oakland,
not enough, dude.
That's crazy.
They need to make money.
Dude, Sac would be packed.
It would be packed, but they would have to. They need a whole new stadium for it.
I thought they were
maybe they would travel to Vegas and play. No, there's no.
I thought they were adding another deck with more seats and all that. I don't know if that's
I don't
for
think
sure,
so. They added more seats, but all they were doing in left field is they added a double-decker, like a two-story training room and locker room for the players because the players were like, what the, like, no, we're not playing with this.
Yeah.
Like, we need a whole thing.
Big pause. All right, well, Giants, Dev, walk us through. Who are you excited for? What are your expectations for the year? San Francisco Giants, we talked about Posey earlier, but, what are you expecting?
Just honestly, like, fun baseball to watch. Like, the last couple years, I think that's the most important thing that they really got away from was that they had no, like, identifiable, like, players for people to be like, yeah, that's my favorite player right there. Like, yeah. And so I think they did a good job of that. Started kind of last year with extending Chapman. I think Chapman became a quick fan favorite with the Giants. I love Matt Chapman. And then they got Adames, so that's right there. The left side of your infield that's probably one of the best left sides in baseball. And
Fitzgerald at second.
Yeah.
Stud.
So they got, and I think that's kind of what, like you said, kind of get on base, play good baseball. That's what they're trying to get back to. And they're going to give the young guys a shot and just to see where they're at and evaluate where they're going to go from there. Like I said earlier, I think they're going to give it a few years.
Just lost Rogers, though, right? The pitcher.
Yeah, they traded the lefty. That
Taylor. That's crazy.
They still have Tyler Rogers, which honestly, I love Tyler Rogers. That's a one-inning guy, like 7th, 8th, come in and then go to Ryan Walker or Duvall, whoever's going to close. It's probably going to be Walker. But
you need a big year out of Duvall.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He needs to have a bounce-back year. And then that'll be like 2 closers at the end of your bullpen, basically. So you want him. They might trade him. I don't know if that's like – people have been saying that might not be a Buster Posey type guy. But
yeah.
I mean, Buster played with him for at least a year. So.
True. I think you need Patrick Bailey to hit 20 homers this year.
And just to have that good, he's been good average. He's built his body up so he doesn't fall off at the end of the year. That was kind of, he was getting, not as durable. He was falling off at the end of the year, no energy. And then they have to figure out the backup catcher spot to help that out a little bit too. I think they still have Tom Murphy, but he just got hurt again. So they got to figure that out for sure.
Old Tom Murphy.
Buster might have to throw on a jersey for a game.
All right, we'll be back next week or on Saturday for the Beam City Sports Bar. Beam City Sports.
Saturday.
Cheers. Thank you.